Awaken with Thunder and Lightning.
Reignite the lighting of soul.
Talking all things mediumship.
Spirit.
And paranormal.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Thunder and Lightning weekly podcast. Episode 1, talking all things mediumship and spirit and paranormal, which that'll be the content each week. And we will be joined regularly each month by guests that we will interview. But I'm Psychic Gavin and my co-host is Roger, which I'll pass you across to Roger. Roger is a psychic medium, psychic surgeon. He does speak a bit of light language. He's got connections with angels, ascended masters, Greek Egyptian gods, cosmic angels. He's attuned to as a Reiki master and spiritual healer. He has an extensive knowledge of crystals and spirituality. And he's also an animal Reiki master. So, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, Roger, and then I will say a bit more about me.
Wow, that's an introduction, Gavin.
That's no lie, it's true.
Well, okay. I suppose I first got interested in spirituality back when I was about 8 or 9. I first got drawn into it by reading my mother's cult novels.
Cult novels sound interesting. And I've watched a lot of YouTube on occult stuff, but not read any books. But then again, I'm not too keen on reading. Read as little as possible. Prefer to be told stuff. That's where I retain it in my memory.
Yeah, well, it started for me reading my mother's Dennis Wheatley novels, who was a practitioner himself. Yes, so when I was 8 or 9, I was reading about zombies and astral travel, moving out of the body, conjuring spirits and energies, and I just got totally fascinated and enthralled by it. To be honest, I've always had an interest in that ever since.
That does lead me to a question.
Go on.
Zombies and astral travel. How do they fit together?
What, the book and the astral travel?
Yeah, zombies. It's not a term that I normally associate with spirituality, or it's not even one that I come across really in the paranormal or hauntings or anything like that. But
yeah, this particular book I was thinking about was based in the South Americas. I think it's more to do with hoodoo, where there was a spirit possession. Let's call it a spirit possession then, where this person had possessed this other body, but the person who had been possessed showed very little emotion, just went through functions. I suppose other cultures they might call that a golem, where it functions and serves a purpose. I've just found that type of stuff so fascinating. My mother was always into reading black magic and occult and whatnot, but I used to sneak in and read them. You know, stuff like Devil Rides Out, The Car of Gifford Hillary, To the Devil a Daughter. They're two films which you've probably seen. I'm a horror. Just absolutely fantastic, and I was totally enthralled by it. Ever since then, I've always had an interest in spirituality and the hidden realm which we can't see physically, that it is there.
Now you are seeing it a little bit more physically, more than you were probably anticipated to see.
Yeah, that's true. I did stop for a while, probably in my 20s and early 30s, and then what really kick-started it off for me back in my 30s would be I had a fall and punctured my lung and did one or two other things. And whilst I was recovering, in broad daylight, there was a monk appeared in my room, my front room, filled the doorway. Absolutely scared me silly at the time because I was struggling with fluid on the lung. And my initial reaction was, oh, heck, it's the Grim Reaper. And I thought, I ain't ready, pal. Since then, I've found out that it wasn't. And through research and asking mediums and other people interested in this type of work, have actually confirmed to me that it was one of my ancestors about 5 generations ago, who was a monk who came forward, and it was pivotal, was that, because that being who came through, he looked as solid as you or I. You could see the fabric, you can see the rope tied around his waist, he's got the hood over his head. Everything about him looked solid. Fascinating.
An experience like that myself. That's the pivotal point of belief.
That was the pivotal point in belief. So I first started, when I started to look into it a bit more seriously, I was looking at, well, I had a look at Wicca, had a look at shamanism. I was just looking at different factions of spirituality and thinking, well, where do I go here? Because it is so vast and expansive. I got into crystals about that time. I mean,
I would say, like me, you've realised you don't need to actually home into one particular area. It can be vast, but you can have a knowledge over a very vast subject.
Yes, I would say
everything you've read, you retain. You retained loads of the information. You're like a walking encyclopedia. If I need something to push me in the right direction to know a little bit more about the basis of it, you will know about it in some way, which is fantastic.
Yes, I've looked at a lot of different aspects of spirituality. I've looked at the light side. I have looked at the darker side, darker aspects to it, because I think we need to be aware.
Obviously, you do help me on a lot of that already as well. We do work on quite a few different areas together, from clearances and the darker energies to the complete opposite of all the light energies where we do the psychic surgery.
Yeah, there's just a plethora of different energies out there, and every day for me is a school day. It's fantastic. There isn't a day where I think, wow, what's going to happen?
There's a lot of areas that we have to do work in, especially in the area of clearances and exorcisms, that kind of have to be deliberately hidden from public view, more for the wishes of those that we're working with to remain silent, and also for our own sanity, because it's often impossible for people to come to terms with the realities of what actually happens at the extreme parameters of our work, which would sound crazy.
Well, yeah, we would sound as if we're total fruitcakes, talking about and sharing some of those experiences with people who aren't aware of it. It's just phenomenal.
It really is.
I just can't find the words.
That's it. It's like one complete end of the scale to the other, but both ends that we work in, we've got the light end of the scale of psychic surgery, that we can't comprehend how some of the healing that we've done where terminally ill people are then still here and no longer terminal. It's as if it's a miracle. We don't never claim it's us. We do claim it's connection with the spirit world or the universe. But so that's kind of miracle work. And then on the other end of the scale, there's the clearances of energies that people won't comprehend in the first place that they even exist, and two, then can't comprehend how they can be removed. But one of the physical things I've actually seen there was a lady stood outside a house looking through the window, and she levitated down the stairs, floated down them, so to speak. This is a physical lady, not a spirit, and did not touch a step. That was an exorcism, one of my first.
Wow. It's you're working as a divine channel, but you're working at it at both extremes, and it's such a privilege to actually do that type of work.
It is. The help on both ends of the scale, helping of others, just phenomenal. It is a privilege. I don't even know whether that's a strong enough word.
Well, ego doesn't come into it. I strongly feel you have to leave that at the back door, and just empty your mind and just go with and see what happens.
Because it's more fortunate that someone's found someone. Because they may have been searching for many years to have found someone that's actually been able to help them. So I feel fortunate to be in that position to have been able to help them. That's probably a better way to put it. And it can be quite emotional to see the relief on people's faces.
Yes, that's a good analogy. Yes, spot on is that.
Yeah. So I don't like to take credit for it. It's not us. It's just we've got a channel to be able to help people.
Well, it's not us. It's the divine,
Yeah.
or the higher realms, whatever anybody wants to call it. It's a higher form which we're channeling to help people heal and to help clear areas of stagnant,
in between,
low energies, and everything in between.
So if I just tell them a little bit about me, Roger. Like I said at the start, I'm known as Psychic Gavin, but I'm a physical and trance medium. I work with events, paranormal and in the paranormal, to mediumship demonstrations, clients all over the world. I'm fortunate enough to be able to let spirit come close to me in order to be able to draw. So as a spirit artist, but I can't draw myself. I do work with exorcisms. I'm a Reiki master, Shamanic and spiritual healer. I provide psychic surgery along with Roger, and we do have Marie and Lorraine that support our energies there and do bits in their own right. I do cord cutting, soul retrieval, past life regression. I started recently with hypnosis, which I believe is going to help majorly on the development front and a healing front. I've got a vast array of qualifications, astral projection, remote viewing, dowsing, numerology, soulmates and twin flames, animal spirit totems, moonology, scrying, channeling, psychic and mediumship development, meditation, teaching, mentalism, improving memory, capturing and analysing electronic voices, demonology and hoodoo. So that aids me with the exorcisms and clearances and curse and spell breaking. So between me and Roger, we are fortunate to work in all areas of spirituality, mediumship and the paranormal. And I don't stop learning, nor does Roger. We learn daily. And I won't stop, and spirit don't seem to stop providing more abilities. I always wonder and think, what are they going to give next to help others? And it doesn't stop. So my aim then really is to educate and inform all of you to have an interest on life's connecting energies. So whether it's through discussions like this, one-to-one, readings, clearances, on stage, so platform, or just walking around with me on a paranormal event, then I'll pass knowledge to everyone that wants to know it. I don't go around preaching, nor does Roger, but if anyone wants to know anything, more than happy to pass knowledge on, which I guess if anyone that's listening to this does want to ask a question and us to think about answering it for you, you can always email, and that'd be PsychicGavin@icloud.com. But that's a little bit about me, and obviously I have a passion for working with spirit, passionate about working with and helping people. So, like I said, whether that's passing messages on from loved ones or assisting others to sense and feel spirit or aiding them develop. I believe developing never ends when on a spiritual path. I enjoy learning myself, which bridges the gap. That makes a change. My school teachers will be like, you what? As I hear me say that, but no, found a real interest that interests me, so I enjoy learning. But it bridges the gap to spirit more and more. But I enjoy discussing and helping other sensitives, psychics and mediums to expand their own abilities. I'm very approachable and always contactable, but I reply to everything myself. But I really do enjoy trying to help others on their own path. So I help others develop. I don't develop others. It's their path, their journey. So I can give them as much knowledge as they need. That's sort of about me. I know Roger had covered as a child. As a child, I saw things. I really pretty much shut it out. I've always had an intuition. I sort of shut it out until sat down at the table that my partner took me to. A group of mediums kept coming to the tables, and 3 of them arrived, and each 3 of them told me I could be a medium by Christmas, and that didn't leave me long. 4 or 5 months, and they were right. 4 or 5 months later, I was working as a paid medium. So I couldn't get anyone else to help develop me. Spirit developed me themselves, and that's the approach that I pass on to others. Just what Spirit gave me. So I try and help those that can't get the help. And fortunate enough that I've been able to help Roger a little bit on his path. But Roger in his own right is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Some of the messages he gives on development and guidance are just connections he's got so high. That's where I'm very fortunate that questions I can't answer myself, I do often drop into trance and let my guides speak, which obviously you will hear each week, as they in turn give messages. Anything you think I've not covered there, Rog?
No, I think you've covered quite a lot there, Gavin. I think that's a good introduction. Yeah, it's wonderful. This I would say for me, it's a, pardon the pun, it is a voyage of rediscovery. Yeah. All this information we know, and it's just tapping into that knowledge and accessing it and bringing it forward and bringing it out. Everybody listening to this has that capability and capacity to do it, if they're so inclined.
We're born with it, and it gets taken away from us more with conditioning, not deliberate and intentional conditioning on parents' part. Definitely not. But we'd say, no, there's nothing there. No, there's nothing there to the kids as they say they see something, and before long you can't believe it.
It's not. It's the way it's the way you're brought up. It's the schooling. It's drilled out of you. I mean, as you just said, it isn't the parents' fault, because the parents are just doing the best they can, the way they know.
Right, to give my RE teachers a headache, I went through a few because I asked them too many questions. I wouldn't accept what was written down as an answer, and they would ponder on what my questions were, and be like, I can't answer. Well, then why do you expect me to believe it?
Well, I've always had. I was brought up as a Roman Catholic, so my family were very devout. Were very devout Catholics. But I used to read it and think, well, really? Is that true? So there's always been that little bit of questioning behind that. And I think over the years, because I've done a little bit of research into that particular document, it has been manipulated quite a lot over the centuries.
Centuries and beyond.
Yes, and I don't think the true. I'll be upsetting quite a few Catholics now, but I think some of the real meanings have been lost.
That comes back to spirituality and religion, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Religion, you're following principles and faiths that someone else has come up with. Spirituality is finding your own faith and belief.
Yes, I would say spirituality, or following your own spirituality, is original.
Yeah. My beliefs can change when I learn something else. So something I thought yesterday, I would say was a belief, could be a different belief today when I'm given something else. So it's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
Never ending, infinite, just like energy.
Yeah, and we can adapt to change. So I know some people, some colleagues and friends, when they've spoken to me about religion and spirituality, and they say, you'll change your viewpoint like that. And I say, well, yeah, because it can change from 1 minute to the next.
Being open.
Yeah.
Open to change.
That's
change is only constant.
There's nothing wrong in that.
Right. Likewise, there's probably other people that might come across this and listening, thinking, what a load of bloody rubbish. That's it, we live and we die. But then one of the first things you've been taught in physics was energy never dies, it only changes. So where does the energy go?
That's right.
Even on death, they can't explain it. On death, and they take into account of all wastage and everything else. On death, there is a weight that leaves the body equivalent to like a bag of sugar. Where does that weight go?
Yeah.
Vanishes.
That's
the energy transfer going back to spirit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you are an energy form. Yes, you're in a carbon-based body, basically you are an energy form. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can transform.
Yeah.
So once the your shell has worn out and it's come to the end of its life, yes, you'll cross over, but your energy shifts.
So I'm not a human having a spiritual experience. I'm a spirit having a human experience.
A human experience. Yeah, that's correct. Definitely.
Oh, I've got a quick joke for you, Roger. My guide gave me it the other day.
Go on.
What's red and bad for your teeth?
Oh, go on then.
A brick.
Yes. What's the other one?
What's red? Bad for your teeth.
Go on.
Post box. But anyway, this is my guide. He'd been giving these when I was in trance. Anyone that's not heard of trance, it's a form of physical mediumship. Physical mediumship raise the energy for spirit to use it. But the trance mediumship is when my guides. I have John, I have Jane, I have Dexter, the main three. I do have others, but we'll get into that on other weeks for healing and different things. But my main three are them, and they do speak through me. I step back from my body, they borrow my body and speak. And you will be hearing a bit of that. It'll be John that steps forward this week, and he'll give a message for the week, which I guess I can let him do it now. Briefly, that could lead us into where we're going next. So if I just step forward and I'll step back, and I'll let John step forward with a very brief message for you all for the week ahead.
Yes, channeling is an interesting thing to do. I use channeling for light language and for healing.
Good evening, Roger. It is John.
Good evening,
Thank you
John.
for inviting me onto your show, Thunder and the Lightning. You may wonder why Thunder and the Lightning. Some spirit nickname Roger Thunder, and they nickname the medium Lightning. So good name for show. You're doing very well on spiritual perspective, Roger.
Right, thank you, John.
You're more than welcome, my friend. But this week's message for you all. I am John. I am one of the medium's guides. I am a high vibration. But when you need high vibration, gratitude is a key that all of you can use. From time to time, in the human experience, you can feel down and have negative thoughts. And you might think to yourself, what do I do in this situation to keep my vibration high and positive? You see, because law of attraction, like attracts like. So, you don't want to have the negative thoughts and having negative energy and feeling down. But one thing you can do immediately, other than pretending all is well and all will be well, is to think of anything to be grateful for. In the act of gratefulness, it is impossible to be negative. So anyone struggling this week with energies, find anything to be grateful for. It is impossible, I repeat, impossible to be negative while being grateful. I know this is a brief, but some of you will not have heard of trance before, so I will leave it brief this week and leave that as your message. And I am John. I am one of the medium's guides, and I send love to each and every one of you and your families. Have an amazing week, and when you struggle, find something to be grateful for. Does that help, my friend Roger?
That's absolutely fine, John. Thank you for bringing
Wonderful.
this through.
So I will say goodbye to you, Roger, and I will say Roger and out.
Roger and out. Good night, John.
The only bit I'm aware of there as I'm coming back, Roger, is Roger and out. So I'm not quite sure of the message myself. Obviously, I'm not listening to this back at the minute. So I believe he's just got into gratefulness.
Yes, he's gone into gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude and pretending all is well. And it will be well, really does help with the vibration that you're putting out there to bring you what you want to manifest. Because law of attraction, you attract what you're thinking, what you're speaking. And often people can speak positively, but they can have inner thoughts that don't match up. And those inner thoughts can hold them back. So you need to make sure they're in line and they're positive.
And if you're in gratitude, they will be in line and positive, because it naturally raises your energy.
I don't know about you, Rog, but one of the biggest things I find reading-wise is the people that are looking for love. They focus too much on the past where things have gone wrong. Oh, I don't want this to happen again. But when you're thinking, I don't want this to happen again, all you're likely to do is manifest exactly the same in a new relationship. You've got to close that door behind you and really trust. Don't be frightened about getting hurt. So that's easy to say and not necessarily do. But if you're fearful and you're focusing on, I don't want this to happen again, you're likely to get it to come around again. So focus on what you actually do want. Set your sights high, focus on it, have an intention on it, and that rubs off and it'll attract you just what you want. But it's like getting a new job.
Yeah. So if you put out to the universe that, oh no, I don't want to be in that again, and you're putting out that negative aspect to it.
I don't think I can get that job.
That is what you're going to attract. So you need to flip the coin and look at it from a positive aspect, and don't think about, oh dear, what happened in the past. Just
I've got 3 words I would say to the people developing: intention, faith, and belief.
Yeah, exactly. You've got it in 3.
Well, 3 is a powerful number.
Well, yeah, it certainly is.
One,
oh,
nothing but 2, and 3 makes the first solid object. 3 is a powerful number.
Yeah.
Master builder.
It certainly is, and it's a massive. It's one of the strongest structures known to man. Is a triangle.
I guess I better let you explain to them what master builder is.
Not today. Not tonight, Josephine.
Briefly, what a master builder is. Master builder is the number, like with 1, you can't make anything. With 2, it's a pair, but it still can't make anything if you think of matchsticks. As soon as you get to the number 3, you can make an object. That is a master builder number. It's a powerful number. 3 is a very powerful number because it's the first number that can build something. If you have X number of items, you can't make anything with 1, 2, or 3. Sorry, with 1 or 2, you can make it with 3.
Yeah, 3 is the magic number.
It is.
It is the Trinity. So yes,
You've got 3. 3. It's a knot with 3. It's an ancient, one of the oldest Celtic symbols.
That's right.
Well, my lucky number was always 13. Don't know how that's powerful, but actually powerful's 13 in its own right because it can't be changed. So actually, to do with clearances and spell removal and black magic removal, 13 is an extremely powerful number. Can't be altered. That's the way it is.
Well, looking at the number 13 and the superstition that it's a bad number. I've never prescribed to that. Never prescribed to that. I've always thought 13 is a powerful number in its own right.
It is. Which removing curses and things like that, 13 is needed because it's full intention. Nothing can be changed from 13 because it can't be broken down.
That's right.
Which again, we can talk about that on a different week. So we've got a vast knowledge on different subjects of the way we help lots of people. You can learn more as we go week from week. And I will let you know next week, Roger, we've got a lovely guest coming in with us.
Oh, who we got?
We have Erin Eganatz, which is the author of Hauntings Around America.
Oh, that'll be.
I better check I've said her name right. I've said her name right. I better check that I've actually said the book title right. Otherwise, I'll be being told off by her next week. But Hauntings Around America, yes, I got it right.
Excellent.
And she has got a new book out which she can tell us about, but she's a very good seller. And I've even lined up a guest for in a few weeks' time.
Excellent.
I'll keep that secret.
Keep them
coming. I know something you don't know.
Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing. I
suppose we should subject slightly, Roger, unless you've got some time. Do you want to finish something on there? I was going to say we've got to cover the paranormal a bit.
You just knocked the nail on the head. I was just going to say what we're talking about is leading straight into the paranormal.
Which we're going to go to the paranormal. Oh, I don't know where to start here, Roger. Do we start on all fours?
Yeah. I mean,
we went on an event recently together and Roger was on all fours trying to trying to find spirit.
Hey.
I've got a cracking photo. But no, the paranormal, I do work in the paranormal, as well as enjoying the paranormal. I would have said I'm slightly different. I'm not just a medium in the paranormal. I would say I switched to being a paranormal investigator, which will probably interest some of you that are in the paranormal. So if I say there is something, a spirit stood in the corner, for instance, I've got equipment, a vast array of equipment, that I can then say, or I can get you to take a photo or use the SLS camera and say, look, it is where I'm telling you it is. So I don't want to just say, oh, there's something over there and leave you to it. I'd like to say, there is something over there. They're communicating with me. This is what I'm getting. But look for yourselves. Take a photo. Snap a photo, something like that. So I want to prove to you there's something there. Which I am told that I'm different in that way. For being a physical medium, I don't think I've ever been to a location, touch wood, and that's including the beach, Roger, where I've not had paranormal activity.
Wow.
They always get on my bloody family photos.
Well, you're a beacon, you see. You attract them like a moth to a flame.
Am I the flame or am I the moth?
Well, in this instance, you're the flame.
I would say what Roger's saying there with the beacon. Anyone that's actually got a connection to spirit, they become like a light bulb, like a lighthouse.
Yeah.
And yes, there's different brightnesses. So spirit can see you once you've lit up slightly. So if you do anything with spirit, you're slightly lit up. Even if you believe, that's a slight flicker of a light as a beacon, so spirit can come towards you. If you don't believe, it's like it's almost out. The light's out. They're not going to. They'll be around, but they're not going to do anything with you. And as soon as you start lighting it up, and get brighter and brighter and brighter. So the more you work with spirit, the brighter you become. So Roger is extremely bright now, and he's continually always getting brighter because I can see it clearer on others. Because the more clearances he does, and the more interaction with spirit, the more, not necessarily the psychic surgery, I wouldn't say that makes it much brighter, but has a connection to higher energies. But with regard to spirit on earth, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And the brighter you become, the more they'll attract towards you to see what's going on. Not that I have a problem with negative spirits that come around, because I do that many clearances, often now with Roger, that they don't like coming near me. I'm nicknamed Bishop on a spirit box, which I'm sure a different week we can use a spirit box to actually communicate to all of you.
I love going on paranormal events. I remember I went to a hall in Bradford with a good friend of mine, and we volunteered to go down the cellar and just sat in the cellar with like a radio, which we were just automatically tuning backwards and forwards. And within a couple of minutes, this voice just says, "Hello, Roger." And I just thought, wow, okay, this is fascinating. Where's this going? So yeah, that was the hook for me. I bit it, and I love it ever since.
Well, you know me, Roger. I like to kind of set challenges, see whether things are possible.
Go on.
So I'm going to test spirit. I'm going to see if they can say, "Hello, Roger." Spirit, I'd like you, very briefly, to say, "Hello, Roger," please.
Well, we know you can do it. Spirit, come on.
Spirit, don't let me down now, please. Say, "Hello, Roger," please. That was kind of all right. Could you say it a bit clearer, though, for me, please? "Hello, Roger," as clear as you can.
Come on, you can do it.
I think I've got it.
Yep, spot on.
Try and get that clear. I'm sure it's not "Hello, Roger." If not, I'll edit that bit out. You seeing that monk was like your first paranormal experience, would you say?
It was one of the first. I mean, on that one, we did some glass scrying and table tipping.
My very first paranormal experience was away from a paranormal location. I delivered a parcel. Someone had a property, Roger. It was near where the Battle of Naseby was, in a village just around the corner. I delivered a parcel, and at the gate, I got the man with his horse. So I started chatting to him, solid as day. So he was doing something like clearing out the hooves. He got a saddle on the horse. I started chatting to him, had a full conversation for about, getting on for almost 10 minutes. So I was like, "Are you going to come and get this bloody parcel or not?" But I said to him, "Parcel, you're going to come and get it?" "I'll just drop it." I thought that was a bit odd. I was like, "Are you sure?" So he's like, "Yeah, just drop it over the gate. It'll be fine." So I dropped it over the gate. Went on my way, went to the shop. I said, oh, really funny. I've just been chatting to a lovely chap with his horse, and I said where I was. I said, there's no horses at that property. I said, pardon, I've just clearly seen it. I said, no, what did he look like? Described the man perfectly. They said, he's been dead almost 20 years. He opened a book with his photo in it. So I said, that's the man. He'd been dead 20 years. I was like, oh my God. I even went back there just to check. Looked over, my parcel was the other side of the gate. No sign of a horse. Not even a sign of the stable that had been open that I saw. Nothing. Couldn't explain it. That was just before I started to develop. So spirit started to push me in that direction, but that all followed from an operation with my appendix and my shoulder and things through general anaesthetics that they led me towards developing. But that was my first paranormal experience.
Well,
My second was a bit more scary.
That's interesting. I always remember in my 20s, I went to a place in Derbyshire called Haddon Hall, and just walking down the main hall, and it's a vaulted ceiling with ornate plasterwork on it, and I was drawn to touch the walls, and as I touched the walls, I got drawn back to a time probably 17th century. So it was a bit smoky. There were people talking in there about civil war, revolution, and this was just from just touching the plasterwork, and I just thought, what on earth is that?
I've been there.
You've been to Haddon
You've got
Hall?
loads of deer outside of it. Loads of deer.
Yeah.
Stags and things. Yeah, I've been there.
I haven't been back since. Not because I'm scared of it. I just haven't. I
was about 12 when I went there.
Right. Okay. Well, I'd be about 25 when I went there. So it's
bloody hell, I must have gone there sooner, more recently than you then.
Yeah, it's about 30 years ago since I've been.
Yeah, Roger's almost ready for his bus pass. He'll call me a cheeky bugger now.
Jakey sod. Yeah, I'm 55.
I have to think now. I used to know my age straight off my head. Now I have to actually do the maths. I'm 44. So we're at very synchronistic numbers at the minute. And you can tell with the year we're having so far.
Yeah. So
a lot of work together and stuff you wouldn't comprehend.
So I just found paranormal investigation, spirit investigations, fab as to what you can do. You can use the stick camera. Is it an SLS camera?
SLS, yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually see the head with arms and legs, and it can be in air or it could be sat wherever. Fascinating. You've got your radio, orbs flying around here and there. Because I used to see a lot of orbs. Quite enjoyed the table tipping. I've never seen a table tip, such a heavy table tip as far over, so it's nearly on the floor, and then it rights itself, and then does it again on the other side.
I have seen, and I've had a table off the floor at the Haunted Salon in Kettering. But I've got to ask you then, so paranormal equipment, what would be if you could only take, well, if there was one bit of equipment, what would it be that you'd take? What would be your number one?
For me?
Yeah.
I would say a cat bone.
I would say myself.
Yeah, take yourself. Yeah.
How you feel?
I'd take some cat balls because you can leave these battery operated balls on the floor which light up and flash. They do take the take some energy to make them work.
I guess mine would be my phone for a multitude of reasons. you can obviously get the apps on there now, so you could have a spirit box on there, which is not connected to the internet or anything, so there's no radio stations. But more importantly, the most important bit, for my camera. I wouldn't go without my camera. I can give so much evidence. You can do it by video recording where you get EVPs that have been captured. And if you look at TikTok or anything like that, I've got a lot of videos on there, and it's like Gavin, that they're not the greatest as in presentation-wise of putting this, that, and in it, whatever in it to make it spectacular, but the evidence is on there. I've got videos where it's actually showing people spirit being pushed out of windows, to a girl walking into a hotel that's in spirit, to EVPs, and photos.
And a camera phone.
Yeah. I know, we terrified the police at one point during lockdown. We weren't breaking any rules. The police turned up. They didn't stay long. I said to one officer, can I just take a picture of you? Because he said, I don't believe. So we got a spirit by you now. Can I take a picture? Hence, the investigator and medium. But I took a photo of him, with the spirit next to him. He jumped back in the bright van and didn't get out of it again. So he was an inspector, so he sent the others to look around the building. That lasted all of about 20 seconds. Went upstairs, saw a table move, and by itself. And he come running down and jumped back in the van. One went out the back to check, and then one decided he wasn't coming back through the building and went left through the alleyway. And another one got stuck in the corner and needed help to come out there. They just left. Apparently there'd been illegal rave reported. We hadn't had any music on, but they said they'd come back to check in an hour. We never saw them again. Always an interesting time at a paranormal event.
I love them.
I do. They're very addictive. Anyone that hasn't done one, I would say do one. And those that are developing, there's a couple of reasons why I'd say do them. One, it can let go of your fears. When you understand, because you only fear what you don't understand. So if you can get a better understanding of things, then you realise there's no need to fear. If you're in control, there's no need to fear. Don't get me wrong, I've seen things happen, which is very rare, but I would always say go on an event where there is a medium there, if you can. I'm always happy with people coming on mine that I do, and I work with Fright Nights and my own stuff. But you're always safe if you don't invite spirit towards you. If you invite them towards you, make sure you remove the invitation so you're in control, because invitation, you're inviting them close, they will come close. Only not last week, the week before, a gentleman, he was a big man, into the 40 stones-ish. Spirit came close to him. His heart rate went up to late 200 beats per minute, and ended up sitting him down. His heartbeat dropped back to the 120 mark with a click of my fingers once I got the spirit away from them. So they can be powerful, and he'd requested the spirit come close to have an experience. So just be careful what you wish for. Don't be silly. Don't wind them up unless you're going to really claim your power and remove your power. And like last them step forward, make them step back. And you've got to believe that everything you say will happen. Because when you ask them to step close, you don't even think about it. You're just like, yeah, come close to me. Don't think about it, but the intention's out there. And then where people struggle is like, no, I want you to step back. Oh, step back, please step back. Go on, step back for me. And as soon as you're in that state of that, you're not believing that they're going to step back. And they're going to be like, sod you. You don't believe I'm going to. I'm staying here. So make sure you don't wind them up.
Yeah, because you've allowed fear to step in.
Yes. And one thing I've learned that they don't like, can you imagine, you wouldn't want to be hunted by spirit. They don't like to be hunted either. If you can, call it a paranormal investigation, then they like to interact with you quickly because you're investigating, you want them to know more. If you're trying to hunt them, they're not too keen on being hunted.
Well, it's like you and me. We don't want to be hunted.
Please not.
Neither do they.
Yeah. But that you're likely to get them to communicate with you quicker if you don't use that term. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm not trying to change beliefs. If you want to listen to me on that, listen to me. If you don't. But if you do try it, I believe you'll find a positive experience. Like I said, I know I'm a physical medium, can feed energies towards spirit, but I've never had a bad moment, or a moment where I have had bad moments at paranormal, but it's when I've been cheeky with them, and I learned very quickly not to be. But so just careful what you wish for. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Do you hate me? Are you going to try and hurt me? Okay, if they say yes, you're only going to fear more, so don't ask the silly question. But no, I've seen some things happen there, but I can raise the energy by giving them my energy, being a physical medium. But I've seen I had a lot of proof. And like everywhere I've been, there's always been evidence given. But I'll talk on that on a different front of some of the things that we've seen on Paranormal. I can tell you some of the craziest things.
I've been to one or two paranormal events with Gavin, and yes, what he says goes, and it is exactly like that. We have a lot of fun, and they're usually very lively.
Sometimes I don't like the paranormal ones where there's always one spirit that wants to shut up the other spirits there, so you can't get a full story. And that's where I do get involved. It's like, no, step back. You can let these ones speak. And that's what I do like to get the full story of the spirits that are there. Let them tell their story, then they're happier.
That's what I like. When I go to these events, I'm a bit nosy, I suppose. I want to know. Yeah,
you don't have nothing to worry about. If you have nothing to worry about at all. You're protected. But if you are developing, that's where I was going. It really can help you because you've got so many spirits you can interact with, and you've got someone else there if there's a medium that can clarify what you've got. So your abilities can only grow at a paranormal event. Okay, if you actually go with the intention of tuning in, but being safe, build your power up so you're in control of your own power. And those that are developing, you should sit in the power often. But if you're sitting in the power and you can control your energy, you're in control. So you can put it out there. You can invite energies into that power then to get their story. And then you can go to the medium and say, look, I'll pick this up or that up. Or other guests will say, I'll pick this up or that up. And you'll be like, I got that. I know that. It can really build your confidence because trust is the biggest thing developing. If you've got your trust, that can build your trust. It can help you.
It's a solid foundation.
Which is just, it's vital. But we hope, or I hope, and I'm sure Roger hopes, that you've enjoyed our first podcast and introduction. I hope a lot of you will come back and we'll get more followers and watchers. But it really is for yourselves. And like I said earlier, if you wanted to ask something else to consider using it as a topic to talk about, please email PsychicGavin@icloud.com. I know I've got my Facebook page, which is Psychic Gavin. I've got a paranormal page, Psychic Gavin Paranormal, and my healing is Reiki and Shamanic Healers, but you'll find them all on Facebook there. And my website, PsychicGavin.online. But Roger's in the process, I think, of shortly of setting up something himself, which will feed that back to you when he's got that up and running. Yeah. Please do email any questions that you'd like and any feedback. If you liked it, email us. Tell us you liked it. Leave a rating. We'd love to hear from you. What would you like to add, Roger?
I think you've covered everything there, Gavin.
Thank you. You're trying to tell me I'm fantastic again.
Yes, you are. Yeah, absolutely.
How are you, Roger?
There you go.
I hope you've enjoyed it. So I guess for me, I'll say good night.
And I'll say ta-ra.
Bye-bye, all of you.